Derek, I want to begin with this right out of the box.
Okay.
It was, I'm trying to think, 5 days ago? Somewhere in there? Last week, where just an awesome day. It was gorgeous outside. It was a nice morning. Got down to Dye's Walk, and Mike Wood was there with the mic, and pardon the pun, and just having a great time getting everybody set for the Bailey and Wood golf outing. And over 275 players, now closing in on $2 million of fundraising for different charities throughout the South Side, and everything from the national anthem to having us do, although it was odd because they wanted us to do Gentlemen Start Your Golf Carts, essentially.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
And they had a script that said that you were the lead and I was the sidekick.
Yes.
Clearly there was a juxtaposition of the paperwork in regard to that. But, you know, as I was sitting there, I thought to myself, with Query and Schultz being presented by Bailey and Wood, when you sit there and you see Mike and you see everybody that's coming together for that and how excited they were, and Ken Dilger, it was great to see him, and other, you think to yourself, it truly is an honor to be able to carry their name each and every time that we do this program.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why they're up there on the screen. Bailey and Wood Mortgage Lender presents Query and Schultz, 855-350-HOME, BAWFG.com.
Little slower.
And one of the
855
best ways to end the summer
350-HOME
is the Bailey and Wood golf outing there.
BAWFG.com.
But also, you know, speaking of, you know, kind of closing out the summer with Bailey and Wood, we sort of opened up the fall, very fall-like weather for the,
perfect.
right? I mean, it was just beautiful. Yeah, my wife hates it. She loves it when it's super hot. So just perfect. And we're bummed that we ended up missing it because we were out of town, but I looked on my phone app and I was like, man, the weather in Indy is perfect.
Saturday was San Diego.
Yeah, but the start of fall with the Colts, I know it's a preseason game. Still, we had Colts football, technically, on Sunday, and a loss to the Broncos, who cares? But great to see Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor out there. The funny thing is, Jake, I don't think we have a whole heck of a lot to discuss as far as position battles.
Why are you wearing Speedos again on this show?
What are you talking about? These are my shorts.
They're
Yeah, these are my 5-inch inseam shorts. There we go. I don't even know if you got any short in that picture. You might have just gotten leg as far as that's concerned. All of the starting spots, I think, are pretty much spoken for right now, and the Colts are basically returning.
It's kind of a boring preseason because of the fact that there's really no new major faces. I mean, A.D. Mitchell, you know, but
sure, yeah.
And for that matter, the guy that, to me, I'm telling you, there's one star right now for the Colts that's going to be, as the kids say, is about to blow up. I'm telling you. When you go, one of my favorite games to play, Derek, and I know it is yours as well, when you go to a Colts game and you look at jerseys being worn.
Yeah.
You know, you still get like a Marcus Pollard jersey here and there.
Yeah, it's great.
You walk around and you're like,
I also see Brackett.
Johnny Cooks.
Yeah.
Okay. Been a while since I've seen that. Joseph Adai jersey.
Yep.
Right now, I'm predicting right now. So if you go to a Colts game, you see a ton of Anthony Richardson jerseys, right?
Yeah. You always do this where you're like teasing us like, okay, he's about to say it. What is it? And I'm like actually genuinely interested.
Right.
And then you start writing stuff down. I'm just like.
The second most common jersey after Anthony Richardson would be who? Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, Taylor.
Third would be what? Pittman?
God, you know, there are so many Shaquille Leonard ones still. A lot of people bought that.
Amongst the active.
Okay. Quentin Nelson? I've seen a decent amount.
Okay, that's a good one. I
see a decent amount of Quentin Nelson ones.
Okay, already the door has been creaked open. Turn off.
Sorry, I got it. Yeah, sorry. There we go. All right.
By Halloween,
okay,
the fifth most represented jersey that you're going to see at games is going to be the AFC, and I don't even know if it's by conference, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. Liatu Latu is going to be a star in the NFL. He is going to be a longtime staple, and they finally have the breakthrough next. Not even Dwight Freeney, because it's a different style of player, but the Colts have their defensive linemen of the now and the future. DeForest Buckner's a wonderful player, and they have good. Tyquan Lewis has played well,
yeah,
and is benefiting, I think, from teams having to figure out where they're going to guard and what they're going to do. But Liatu Latu, has the burst off the line. He has the foot speed. He has the closing speed. He is going to be a megastar, and you're going to see his jersey all over Lucas Oil Stadium. Mark my words on that.
Wow. I never see you do this about anybody.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, he had a nice game. Taekwon Lewis had a really nice game.
Yep, he did.
On Sunday. And the Colts are going to need that.
Which is good to see, right? And then you forget, I mean, you mix into that rotation Kwity Paye and Dio, so you've got two guys, Chris Ballard, give him credit. I mean, one of the things that he has preached is depth at the line. They have it on the defensive line. Now, that makes up for the fact, or doesn't make up for the fact, that their defensive backfield still has a lot of question marks. But I love their defensive line, and Laiatu Latu is going to be a star.
Yeah, it's going to have to really dictate everything because you feel good about what they have in their front seven, but the defensive backfield is still very much, especially if there's an injury back there. I mean, God forbid something happened to Kenny Moore or Julian Blackmon, then you're really screwed. Or Juju Brents, even, because they're going to be relying on him a lot, who we still don't know about. But I just think it's interesting, we kind of, outside of Latu, obviously, we kind of know what the Colts are bringing to the table from a starting standpoint, and there aren't a lot of position battles to talk about. And you tell me if you agree with this. I mean, we have like 1 hour a week. I'm not going to spend time talking about who the Colts swing tackle should be.
Right.
Hey, who's their RB3? Like, do people care about that?
Well,
outside of like 5% of the fan base, do people care about the RB3 battle?
You saw they already made a change, not a change, but Trey Sermon gets hurt.
Yeah,
they go out and immediately sign up. I mean, the running back position is kind of like fantasy football, right? Yeah, he won the 9th round now. I guess I'll go ahead and draft
Evan Hull. Like, do we care about that? CB2, I guess, is a little more relevant, a little bit more relevant, but even then, Dallas Flowers did not have a good game on Sunday, if you're reading much into that. I mean, I thought Nick Cross was fine. They had the one kind of broken play on the touchdown where I don't know if there was a miscommunication or what it was. But overall, I don't think there was a whole heck of a lot to be learned. I think the preseason, instead of determining position battles, is a lot more about getting guys reps, right? Getting Richardson back out there and getting comfortable, and even getting, to an extent, getting Taylor out there. I mean, he played half of his season last year.
Let me tell you, with Anthony Richardson, very early, almost impossible to tell, 5 throws, something like that.
Yeah.
Look, the good news is he came out of the game unhurt.
Yeah.
And he's back on the field.
He looked as rusty as you would expect.
He looked rusty.
Right?
And his accuracy is still the one question that you worry about. I mean, is he with wide open throws? Are you going on a wild ride, or is it reliable boom 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 every time? We don't know the answer to that. I do. He's obviously big, athletic. We know all those things. In other words, I don't know that any new questions arose out of Anthony Richardson, but also none were certainly answered by any stretch other than he's healthy.
He can make all the throws, but can he make all the throws, right?
Right.
Like, he has the arm talent to make any throw that you want him to make. It's just about putting that ball on the money. I feel better about his weapons. I really wish, Jake, and this has been, I think, one of the more disappointing things, is that you really haven't had an emergence, wow, and a lot of this has to do with Jelani Woods at tight end. I just wish.
Hard to argue that.
You don't need Kelsey back. You don't need like a dynamic player, but I wish they had somebody that was a real step upper at that spot.
The thing to me about the tight end position that is intriguing is you have, 5 tight ends essentially?
Yeah. And I think they're going to keep 4.
And okay, so you got Moali in no particular order: Kylan Granson, Moali Cox, Drew Ogletree.
Yep.
Will Mallory. I'm missing one. Who am I missing?
Hold on.
Ogletree, Granson,
Woods,
Moali Cox, Jelani Woods, Will Mallory.
There's 5.
With the exception of maybe Mallory, who has seemingly has a little bit of like slant receiver, yard after catch ability. They're all kind of interchangeably the same guy, right?
Yeah, but it's
for a tight end group of 5 tight ends, it has to be the least versatile skill set offering. I'm not saying they're not versatile. I'm saying they all – I don't know that – it's not like you say, hey, on this play, we can put this tight end because we need this done, and on this play, we'll put this one in because we need this done. To me, they all kind of seem to be the same.
All of them can do one thing.
Correct.
And it's just, you wish you had somebody maybe even that could do a little bit of every. Jack Doyle wasn't some tremendous athlete or anything, but he could do everything. And I wish that the Colts He could catch. He could block. He knew the offense. I wish the Colts had somebody like that.
Now, do you see this photo here?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about that is on the front of the jersey, if it said Houston, that guy'd have Houston on the front and back of his jersey.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I wonder if there has been somebody like, did Justin Houston ever play for the Texans? I feel like I should know that if that has happened.
A player,
Ravens, Chiefs, Colts.
Dallas Flowers obviously never played for the Dallas
Cowboys.
Right?
But it wouldn't say Dallas on his jersey. It'd say Flowers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm talking about city name and the team. I mean, Houston would be one of the only ones that would really qualify for this, right?
Dallas.
I mean, somebody's last name Tampa, right? And then play for the Buccaneers. Like, it's a little bit of a weird.
New York.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird thing. Yeah. What about York? If your last name was like,
no, that doesn't count.
John York.
Doesn't count.
You played safety for the Jets in 1982.
Doesn't count.
I don't know. Maybe it would
I'm
work.
looking this up there.
Somebody else I wanted to mention, like real standout performances from Sunday. Mike Abraham, who is a cornerback out of Marshall, was a 6th-round pick and was a really surprising selection to a lot of people, the Colts draft people, because he didn't fit a Ballard prototype because he's not an elite. In fact, he's not even a good athlete. I mean, for NFL standards, obviously he's a good athlete to be on an NFL team. But he had one of the lowest RAS scores.
Can we go with baseball players?
Of a Colts. Let's talk about this, too, before I don't want you to get too off track. He had one of the lowest RAS scores of a Colts draftee.
I don't know what that is.
Relative athletic score. It was just a 3.70. So he ranked in the bottom half of 2,472 cornerbacks drafted since 1987. Abraham was in the bottom half of that group. I think he was like 1,582 because he's so undersized. So he didn't have great RAS. But you saw that his ball skills, even in the first game, were great. Had a strip and score. One of the plays of the day for a touchdown. And that's a spot, as we talked about, cornerback, defensive secondary in general, where there are jobs to be had, and you can establish yourself.
Steve Phoenix played at Grand Canyon.
What?
Steve Phoenix.
Grand Canyon?
Yeah, he played at Grand Canyon University.
No, we're not doing college.
Well,
we're not doing college.
It's in Phoenix.
Yeah, no, not doing colleges.
Okay.
That's stupid. Not doing colleges. So I had thought about putting Abraham as the hero of the week, but we're going to be spending so much time on the Colts throughout this season.
Darryl Boston. Did he play for the Red Sox?
I decided to have him not do that.
Do we know if Darryl Boston played for the Red Sox?
I don't know. Who was the guy?
Ron Washington? Was he ever involved with the
There was a receiver for Ohio State whose last name was Boston. Oh, here we go. Lamar Houston played for the Texans in 2017. David Boston, remember? He played for Ohio State, but I don't think he ever played. He was like the Patriots, maybe?
There you go, Lamar
Patriots
Houston.
and somebody else? I don't know. But the Patriots before they were the Patriots. But 2 more training camp practices in Westfield. They've got the joint practices with Arizona this week, and then they're playing the Cardinals. And then we'll get this show on the road here in a couple of weeks. The expectation is for Anthony Richardson to not play this weekend, right?
Yeah, they got a third game against Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, they got the Thursday night
and that's
game.
usually the one that I think probably you see a little more rep, right?
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
It didn't used to be that way.
Were you surprised? And this makes perfect sense. Were you surprised that Flacco got the same amount of reps as Richardson? I guess with Flacco, you kind of know more what you have.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I guess. And you got to play somebody, right? You're not going to play Richardson more than a handful of series, so you got to play somebody in there. So Flacco's the QB2, and it makes sense. I guess one other storyline that we could talk about for the Colts are the Guardian helmets, right? Because you're now allowed to wear those, and the Colts are one of the first teams to really wear them. They had 5 different players, including Jonathan Taylor.
Another prediction, Derek. Another prediction. You see when you go to Colts games, there's the one guy, he's a nice guy. We used to see him at pregame shows every once in a while. The bald guy that paints his head like a Colts helmet. He makes it usually on CBS. Nice guy.
He does the goatee too, doesn't he?
I think that's right.
He do like blue facial hair too.
And then you see, every once in a while, you see somebody walking to the game that's dressed like Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Wearing the helmet and shoulder pads and everything else. I'm going to predict by Halloween. And not because of Halloween. I'm just using that as the benchmark in terms of the season. You will get to the point where during the course of the year in the crowd, you will have people wearing what looks to be the Guardian helmet things on their head. Kind of like a bonnet.
Yeah.
Like a bonnet. Because that's the thing that's weird is the the Guardian. So we're basically talking about the eggshell padding that goes over the helmet that is believed to reduce the chance of concussion or neurological injury. If that's the case, if in fact they are effective, and they must be because the league has now approved for players to wear them during the course of the regular season, if you're a player, why would you not wear it?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the stats are.
And furthermore, they look kind of sloppy when they're on there. Like, I'm a little surprised at the rudimentary nature of it. Like, they're kind of flapping this way. They look like the Elmer Fudd rabbit helmets.
It's
right?
hard for guys, and I'm hearkening back to what Reggie Wayne told us all those years ago on the Reggie Wayne show. Look good, play good. A lot of guys didn't want to switch. Remember, he didn't want to switch his original helmet because, and they're superstitious. Guys are weird. Like pro athletes are weird.
I get it.
But
you would think that those flaps on the side they would snap them down.
Yeah.
But not,
according to NFL research, the cap can absorb at least 10% the force of a hit, which doesn't sound like much, but anything matters, right?
Right.
You would think. So I'm fascinated to see.
I mean, and as we talked about, and this isn't a surprise, they came up with a way for them to be the color and paint scheme of the helmet.
Yeah. Well, did they put covers on them? Is that what it is? Is it like a cover?
What do you mean?
Yeah, the Guardian cap is whatever. It's that blue stuff, and they put a cover on it.
Gotcha.
That's what it is.
Okay.
So it's fabric that you see. I believe some sort of
like
fabric that
cap.
you see that it's over it.
It's a shower cap on the Guardian.
Yeah.
Cap. Okay.
Do you ever wear? You ever wear a shower cap? I can't remember the last time I wore a shower
cap. They
cap.
were fashionably in vogue when I was in high school for a brief period.
Spray tanning? Do you wear one?
No.
Okay. Yeah. See, because I no cap there. No cap. I just let that water flow. Get all wet. Nice and wet.
Why do they do this to me? We do a show once a week. I have to put up with this once a week, and I don't need this, right? But I come here and I get hit with nudity on a regular basis. Can we not get even the thing?
I don't know. Nudity is a stretch.
Hold on.
Nudity is a stretch. I have a towel on.
I'm going to make a
Everything is
disclaimer
covered.
here. I'm making a disclaimer.
Kind of like the French pole vaulter. You can see a little bit if you stare.
Okay.
You don't really have to stare that much, I guess. High def TV and all that. What are we doing? What are you drawing? You're making like some sort of a diagram. What is this? What's going on?
Did you ever watch HBO?
Did I ever watch HBO? Yes. It's now Max, right?
Excuse me?
Max. I think they're rebranding.
So at the beginning of each movie, it gives you it has the thing that tells you the disclaimer.
Oh yeah, the rating. Yeah.
So I'm
like
doing
NC-17 and.
Well, but then it'll say language, foul language.
Sure. Oh, are you doing a card for Corey and Schultz?
Yes.
We don't have foul language on this show.
Well,
I mean, I guess we have.
the following program contains. Boom. There we go. How's
What is
that?
that?
That's for when they show that
Pseudo-sexual content,
ridiculous.
brief nudity. Yeah.
When they show that ridiculous picture of you.
PSC is not a rating. BN I've seen for brief nudity.
Well, there's nothing sexual about you, so I had to say pseudo.
Didn't we say I mean that wouldn't be language though. We said testes on the show. When we were talking about vasectomies, we said testes.
Sorry, I need to come up with
So
another-
that's not I don't think we need to do a warning for that. Warning. It may say I don't know when testes would come up on the show again. But it's a guy show. It's guys talking about guys and guy things and sports and all of that. So I don't know. I don't want to rule it out. Jake actually, while he's furiously writing down a rating here, Jake contributed something to this week's show, which is extremely, extremely rare. He picked up our Hoagies and Hops Sando of the week. Hoagie and Hero of the week. Thank you for doing that. Usually he's not even paying attention.
The following program also contains this.
Usually I'm the one that picks up the Hoagie and
That's a
Hop
new
sandwich.
rating that I came up with for
Jake did
HBO,
it this
Derek, for
week.
your little.
Thank you for picking up the sandwich.
Sure.
Here is our Hoagie of the week. This is the Always Sunny. So, bacon bits, shaved turkey, horsey mayo, Munster cheese, peppadoo pep, banana pep, tomato, lettuce. Really, really good. A little bit of everything.
That is outstanding.
You didn't put the mayo on mine, did you?
No,
You know I like the horsey mayo.
Yeah, I give it to you.
I don't want it on the side. I want it stand out.
By the way, when you go into Hoagie and Hops, which I did, 42nd and Boulevard.
Hey, you remember
At
that?
Hoagies and Hops, thank you. Right next door. As a matter of fact, while they were preparing the sandwich, I said, I'll just grab a beer. And then picked up the Dire Wolf. Now, the Dire Wolf, this is fabulous because this is a new hazy pale ale, right? And again, as we talked about, Derek, one of the beauties of Chili Water Brewing right there at 42nd and Boulevard, perfect because you go in, you get your sandwich, you can get yourself a draft beer or a beer to go, whatever it might be in terms of the take-home, in the cans. But their beers are all smooth. Even when you're talking about whether it be a higher ABV or the higher hop content, extremely smooth. That is the case right here with one of their newer features, the Dire Wolf. I'm doing that so you can see it on the camera from Chili Water.
Looks like House Stark banners right here. You a GOT guy? House Stark. Dun, 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 dun.
What are you talking about?
Game of Thrones? Are you not? Or did you not? You're like the one person on earth that didn't watch that show?
Game of Thrones, by the way.
Dire
Hang on just a
Wolf.
second. It features brief nudity and pseudo-sexual content.
It's not
right?
brief nudity, my man. And it's not pseudo-sexual content. They go at it on that show.
They go
Not
at
with
it
the Dire
on that
Wolves,
show.
But, House Stark had dire wolves. They found a dire wolf in one of the early episodes in season 1. And they each had dire wolf puppies, but I believe they were all killed. I think the last dire wolf was Jon Snow's dire wolf, and he got killed in the battle with the
Derek, no,
with the Night Walkers.
kill your dire wolf.
Yeah, but this is cool because this is on a dire wolf is on House Stark's banners. So when they call their banners to war, the dire wolf is on the banner. So this is perfect. This is a really good beer too.
Yeah, just kill the beer. Let's talk about the shows.
Really good. Red Wedding, Robb Stark. The Lannisters send their regards. Crossbows. You didn't watch that show? It's a great show.
About?
Great. Sorry if that was a spoiler. I didn't want to get too detail oriented there. But beware of the phrase. Beware of the phrase.
Bruce Willis is dead through the entire movie of The Sixth Sense.
Our
Out there.
hero of the week. There's so many choices. We're just wrapping up the Olympics. And again, I think I said this last week, but kind of prisoner of the moment. Don't you feel like it was like a feel good Olympics? It just felt like everybody was watching and like happy, and people felt good. I think it's a bit of a rallying cry, right? Not just here in the States, but for all participating countries to get behind your countrymen and women. But we're seeing this, and I feel like Indianapolis is somewhat of a ground zero for this continued surge of American of women's sports.
Yeah.
Right, and just attention and credit and money and eyeballs and everything, and the Olympics just kind of kept that tidal wave going. 65% of the gold medals won by Americans in Paris were won by female participation. Obviously, there's some mixed events like in tennis and things like that. And they needed every one of them. They ultimately ended up tied with 40. Simone Biles' redemption tour with what she was able to do. Sha'Carri Richardson, speaking of redemption.
How about young Alex Shackle from right down the road in Carmel? Right?
Lily King. Adding some more to her cachet there of Olympic medals. Over 58% of the total medals had some sort of female participation. It was a great Olympics. Lots of memes. The Turkish gun guy, the Australian breakdancer chick, all of it. Really, really fun, really, really newsworthy. And I didn't feel like outside of the female boxing thing, I didn't feel like there was a lot of like, oh God,
the opening ceremonies.
I don't want to do this. Well,
there was
okay,
a contrived controversy there.
There was that too.
I want to speak real quick about the Australian breakdancer. I think most are familiar with what I'm talking about. Breakdancing is now an event in the Olympics, and a lot of people were mocking the Australian female breakdancer. Truthfully, to me, the mockery is not in the female Australian breakdancer, but the fact that breakdancing is an Olympic sport in its own right, because it's not a sport. It's an exhibition, but it's not a sport. I don't mean that as a knock on people that breakdance. When I was in the 4th grade, I begged my mom to take me to Castleton Square for breakdance lessons. I mean, I get it, right? And I'm not saying that it doesn't take skill. It does, for sure. But I don't think of it as an Olympic sport. That said, it's an easy target to make fun of the Australian woman who is the breakdancer, and I think most have seen the video of it by now. But, Derek, I saw an interesting narrative from her where she said, look, I might not have scored any points, but dance, because she actually has a PhD in like human movement. I don't think that means like in the form of movement. I think it has more to do with like the movement like from on the earth.
Sure.
But at any rate, clearly an intelligent woman. But I thought it was interesting where she said, it is my opinion. And she said, and the thing about dance and about music is it is opinion-based. It is interpretive-based. And my interpretation of it was not that it was my job to go and be the best breakdancer, but rather to go and utilize dance as an expression of the heritage from where I come. And therefore, I utilized the incorporation of the kangaroo, which is the symbol of Australia, in terms of their movements and the way that they would contort their body in an exhibition and an interpretation artistically of my roots from Australia. I actually thought it was a pretty cool explanation, and then I felt half bad about everybody making fun of it.
Look, anybody that puts himself out there deserves some credit just to get on the world
free
stage
trip to
like
Paris.
that.
You kidding? She's like, yeah, I'll go.
And you put yourself out there, but agree, it's ridiculous that it was
the Turkish gun guy was cool,
considered a sport, and which was actually a sport, right? The Turkish gun guy, but she was not given any favors. Somebody just needs to say, yeah, you know what, this is a bad idea to do this. And it was not great. 42nd and Boulevard, Chilly Water Brewing for the Direwolf. Bum, 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 bum. And the Always Sunny, that's a TV show too, which I never got into, but Danny DeVito and all that, Always Sunny. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I haven't seen 1 second of Always Sunny.
Then how can you say you didn't get into it?
Because I didn't get into it.
But you didn't try to get into it.
No. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I never tried.
Can you say you didn't get into Stanford if you didn't apply?
Okay. Why are you being like this? I was actually kind of in a good mood. We come back on the show. Love that play. Some basketball news, and I think maybe saying goodbye to an era. But I'm worried about doing this because these guys are so good that I'm worried about writing them off. But I'm going to write them off anyway. We'll come back and tell you what I mean when we return. It's Corey and Schultz, presented by Bailey & Wood Financial Group, here on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey, AC, which games are we going to tonight?
You know we cover all sports in Central Indiana. Hop in. It's going to be a long night.
Bailey & Wood Mortgage Lender, proud partner of News 8 Sports Hummer.
Hey, AC,
Nice snap.
mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey & Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Welcome back. It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. Thanks so much for joining us. Mid-August, we're actually taping this right now early Tuesday. What is today, the 13th? 2 days away from the 13th anniversary of the show launching.
Really?
August 15th of 2011.
Derek, you buried the lead.
What's that?
Tomorrow. So that being Wednesday. If you're watching this on Tuesday night, Wednesday, 4 p.m.
Yeah. Milkshakes at the Dairy Barn.
We need here's the thing. I want to plead with all of you. On Wednesday, that would be August the 14th.
Yes.
At 4 p.m., myself, my name is Jake Query, and Derek Schultz, the gentleman sitting to my left, will be at the Dairy Bar at the Indiana State Fairgrounds right along the main stretch, right across from the Coliseum. The Dairy Bar has the world's most fabulous menu of dairy products, including the grilled cheese. They have a number of different – they always come up with different styles of grilled cheese, right? And they have a couple of great ones. They have a blueberry milkshake, chocolate milkshake, vanilla milkshake. They have hand-dipped ice cream. We, once again, will be working one of the windows at the Dairy Bar at 4 p.m. It is on the house. It is gratis. The only thing that we ask when you come up and you order whatever it is that you're going to order is that you make a monetary donation. Any amount is is accepted and appreciated. If you make a monetary donation to the American Milk Drive, this allows to buy milk for underserved, underprivileged kids in schools and throughout the state of Indiana. The money that we bring in as part of this, and again, you're talking a free lunch, free milkshake, whatever it might be, all we ask is for a small monetary donation. No obligation on that, though. But I was there on Thursday at the Dairy Bar. I did my radio show live from there, and I saw the...
Sorry.
Didn't we just say to mute your phone?
Sorry. Keep going. Keep going. You were on a roll. Keep
and
going.
I saw the amount of money being brought in by the kids at Fox 59 when they were working the window. And I'm a competitor. Derek and I last year had the high gross amount for the time that we were there. And we absolutely 100% are committed, dedicated, determined to winning.
Yes.
Winning for the most money. So we need to raise a certain amount of money, and we would greatly appreciate any monetary need for that. I have the need to win. I have the thirst to win. Yes, the thirst for milk is what will bring you there, but the thirst for milk for other people that are going to be able to be assisted by your donation are also accepted. Wednesday, 4 o'clock at the Dairy Bar. We will be there, our smiling faces, and I will make you a milkshake this big.
Our milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours, damn right, it's better than yours. Our milkshakes bring, our grilled cheeses bring all the boys and girls and fully grown men and women to the yard. I don't want to just say boys, that's weird. But yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was just going to sing the song and have you guys come out Wednesday the 14th. That's what I was going to do. Yeah. Language. Why was that language?
You just swore.
Our milkshake brings all the...
No, you swore. When singing it, you briefly swore.
Oh, the D word?
Mm-hmm.
D-A-M, Hoover. So I mentioned writing greats off, and that's not really what I'm trying to do, but I've just been more... this goes back to my childhood. I spent my whole childhood hating Michael Jordan. Hated him. Bulls knocked the Knicks out 6 separate times in those playoffs from 1989 to 1996. So 6 times in 8 years, or 9 years, whatever, however many seasons that was. Jordan's Bulls knocked out the Knicks. And afterward, I didn't want him to hit the shot against Byron Russell. You know what I mean? I didn't want him to make the switch hands play against the Lakers. I wanted Clyde Drexler and the Blazers to beat them. Like,
you didn't appreciate him.
I hated the Bulls, yeah. So I didn't appreciate Jordan. And then, when he was gone, I was kind of like, man, that kind of sucks that I spent all that time hating him. So I could take or leave LeBron James. I could take or leave Steph Curry. I don't necessarily, not really emotionally invested in either of those guys. Kevin Durant, the same thing. I don't think anybody's emotionally invested in Durant. He's been on so many different teams that how could you care? But I'm trying to sort of soak in what's left of their greatness as far as team success is concerned, because I think the Warriors are over. I think LeBron, team-wise, has done everything that they're going to do. I think, depending on what team Durant starts next week, I think that's probably over too. And the Olympics, those 3 guys were their best 3 players by far. Embiid, there were other guys. Devin Booker had a nice Olympics, I think, overall. But for the most part, Durant, LeBron, Curry were their best guys.
Right.
Were the guys that's the reason that they won the gold. And, Steph is 36. LeBron's into his 40s. I'm not sure what Durant's age is, but he's getting up there too. And I don't think that you're going to see a whole lot from the Suns and the Warriors and the Lakers. So Paris maybe was one of our final chances to see any of those guys, and of course they did it collectively, achieve team greatness. And so I tried to soak that in.
Well, I mean, I would agree with all of that. It's remarkable and one of the things that I think, Derek, is going to be very good for Tyrese Halliburton is, LeBron James is, at least in terms of body of resume, I realize that he is not in his prime, But in terms of body of resume, he is the greatest active player in the world.
Yeah.
Right? Kevin Durant would be very high on the list, especially from an offensive standpoint. Steph Curry is undoubtedly the best shooter, certainly the most prolific
Curry's
volume
become,
shooter.
I think, a top 10 level all-time player.
I would agree with
this
that.
Point.
And yet, for Tyrese Halliburton, I think it was really important to see those guys, even with nothing left to prove, going into the Olympics and saying, we are not going to be beaten.
Yeah.
And the intensity with which they played defensively, notably defensively. Mm-hmm. They guarded. They did whatever needed to be done. LeBron James did whatever needed to be done to win those games. Steph Curry hit a shot that was – they were probably going to win regardless of whether or not that shot went in, but his ability to catch lightning in a bottle and hit that shot and do what he did. Now, I will say this, and this is where I'm going to sound old, Derek. That kind of thing, I think, is great during the NBA. I don't know about during the Olympics, personally.
Nighty-night.
But
Nighty-night, France.
But the shot that Curry hit absolutely merits our Love That Play, right? Brought to you by the good guys at Love Heating and Air, love-hvac.com. And, of course, 317-353-2141 is the telephone number for Love Heating and Air, who I absolutely love, not just because I've known these guys my whole life, but because they take care of customers like family. Older homes in particular, if you're in the Meridian Kessler area, or you have an older home.
Midtown.
Nobody says
all
that.
over Midtown older homes.
But because Love Heating and Air has been around for over 100 years, they specialize in the older homes in particular, but all homes in Marion and the Donut counties. They're honest. They got great prices and 24-hour on-call maintenance. There is no place for you to go other than Love Heating and Air when it comes to your heating and cooling needs. And they bring you our Love That Play each and every week, our favorite play of the week. And, Derek, I think Steph Curry's shot that really did cement that game. They're probably going to win anyway, but it capped off a furious run by him in terms of his shooting ability. And that's why he's on that team. That's why he's an all-time
It was
great.
really that whole sequence because it was, a 3-point game with 2.5 minutes left, and then I think the next 4 or 5 times down the floor, Steph Curry hit a three.
Right.
I mean, and the dagger, the sleepy three was the last one. I love the call from Noah Eagle. Noah Eagle was at Syracuse, right? And he gets hired to be the Clippers play-by-play guy. And I see that knowing nothing about Noah Eagle, and I'm like, come on, man. He's 23 years old, and he's an NBA player. Give me a break. And then you hear him, and you're like, sorry, the same word for the language. Damn. He's great. He's great. I really, really enjoy Noah Eagle. I think he's great. He does a great job with college basketball. He did Notre Dame football games a couple of times last year. I think he's great. But the Golden Dagger, I love that call. Dwayne Wade, another breakout star, right? Broadcasting-wise, I think he's going to have some good things happen to him. But, yeah, the Steph Curry dagger, and again, these moments, we just assume because Steph Curry's been doing this for the better part of 12 years and LeBron's been doing it for 20 and Durant's been doing it for 15, that's just going to happen forever, and it just doesn't work that way.
Well, that makes you think, okay, 4 years from now, and I mean, you never know with injuries, et cetera.
It's fascinating, right, to think about what the roster's going to be?
One would think in 4 years, who is the roster? Who are the anchors?
I mean, right? You would think you want his continued progression.
That's Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me look. Let me look and see.
Well, Halliburton, right?
Hopefully. Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be? He was there this year, and he's 24 years old.
I wouldn't just automatically say that he's going to be part of it.
Excuse me for sneezing twice. Bam Adebayo, how old's he? I mean, granted, we never know what play. I mean, whoever would have guessed 4 years ago, Halliburton would be
Devin
there,
Booker,
right?
I think, would be back. He played well.
Booker deserves a lot of credit, Derek, because Booker's the one guy that I thought on this roster brought the one thing to the like. He was the one guy that his skill set was replicated. Every other player brought something to the table that nobody else could bring. Devin Booker, what he brought to the table was like, well, yeah, but they already have shooters, whatever it might be. He did whatever needed to be done. I thought Devin Booker, I give him a lot of credit. I undersold him, and I thought he not only played great as a teammate, but he hit big shots for them and was a really valuable part of what they did.
Bam will be 31. Ooh, Tyrese Maxey?
It's a good one.
Ja
Morant's, there's some question marks there, right?
I mean, I'm just trying to think like, Halliburton. I mean, Jalen Brunson at that point would be like 34?
I mean,
he's on the
again,
older end, right?
Again, we don't know. I mean, there may be a guy right now that's Cooper Flagg, right?
Yeah, that you don't know. Yeah, Tatum, you would think would be back, right?
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown's a pretty good player, right?
Banchero? Would he?
Yeah, he's a good player. Paulo Banchero is a very good player.
Yeah, it's hard to know. It's
Now,
hard to know.
I asked this question
And think about how good Wemby's going to be. I mean, my God.
that's the thing is you wonder. I mean, is
incredible.
Is France now going to own this for the next 3 cycles? Right. Yeah. The other question that I asked on Twitter, and it generated pretty good conversation. The lighting of the Olympic torch is a big deal during the opening ceremonies. Mm-hmm. I think they did it by committee in France. It was Muhammad Ali in '96. Who does it in 2028 in L.A.?
This is a question. I don't know if you know the answer to this or if there is an answer to this. Is it generally like Muhammad Ali has nothing to do with Atlanta, right? Even though he's Muhammad freaking Ali. Is it normally somebody that has to do something with the host city?
With Los Angeles, I would say, yeah. Here's the thing. L.A. has hosted an Olympics before. Atlanta had not. Muhammad Ali was an Olympian who then threw his medal into the Ohio River because of the whole controversy with Vietnam. So I think there was an olive branch there, right? My guess would be that it is somebody that is either connected to Los Angeles or connected to the Olympics, or better yet, both.
Yeah.
Several people said to me, like, what about, like, Vanessa Bryant? If Kobe Bryant was alive, would he be a candidate? Probably. Magic Johnson, I would think, is a strong candidate.
Yeah.
Kareem is a strong candidate. But then I go back to the 84 Olympic Games. Carl Lewis, Mary Lou Retton. Mary Lou Retton was probably the face of the 84 Olympics, or Edwin Moses. One of those 3 would be very strong contenders. Snoop.
It doesn't have to
Would
just
it
be one
surprise
person,
you?
though, right?
Correct.
I mean, no offense to, like, Magic Johnson or Kareem, but no one rises to the level of Muhammad Ali.
Correct. Well, LeBron?
Yeah, but he just did, and I don't know. I think highly of LeBron, and I'm a LeBron defender, but, Muhammad Ali is an impossible bar.
Well,
right?
I mean, I guess
to just have one person.
In that case, then Jordan comes into play, but because Jordan was in the 84. The difference between Jordan and the rest is this.
He's an insufferable jerk.
That's kind of it, Derek,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Like Michael Jordan to me is fascinating because people loved him as a player, but as the years have gone on, he's become less warm and fuzzy and more like everybody is just kind of like, yeah, he's kind of a jerk, right?
Yeah.
All
the things that made him a great player make him kind of a bad person to be around.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I hate to say that, but he doesn't have the warm embrace that the Olympics represent, I think, to a lot of people. That's why Magic Johnson to me, Jordan would make perfect sense, and it would not be a surprise.
Yeah.
But I don't think of Jordan because the 84 Olympic Games in Los Angeles were the introduction of Jordan to a great extent. I know he's a great player at Carolina, and he hit the game-winning shot. I mean, I get all that, but you get what I'm saying. Whereas there are other athletes that was the cement of their legacy. Carl Lewis and Mary Lou Retton and Edwin Moses, those 3, Joan Benoit Samuelson, they all come to mind as those that the 84 Olympics represent their prime, their biggest stage.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, besides Mary Lou Retton, what would be like a female?
Joan Benoit. Well, Serena or Venus Williams.
Yeah.
Aren't they both from Los Angeles?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Usually your Twitter questions, I'm like, I don't really care about this. Like, what's the most transcendent song by the Eagles? Who cares?
There is none, by the way. Hotel California, probably.
Who cares? But that's actually a pretty good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm glad to have your approval.
We'll come back with more pretty good content on this show from 2 pretty good hosts. We'll talk quick hits.
You know what ISC stands for, Derek? Not just
features.
the Indiana Sports Network, right?
I don't know if
ISC Sports Network, Indiana Sports Channel.
I don't know
right?
if it's ever been determined.
It's got to be
what
Indiana
ISC
Sports
stands
Channel.
for.
Indiana Sport, but it also stands for insecure content.
Insecure. Well, insecure is one word.
Understood, but just insecure content right here.
Impressive sexual content. No, sexual sounds too sexual. Sexy. Impressive, sexy content right here on QNS. on the ISC Sports Network. We're back with more next.
At Bailey.
And we're back. Bailey and Wood presents Query and Schultz here in the ISC.
I thought I was supposed to take it out there. You just jumped right in. Have at.
Take it out.
No, it's okay.
Count it down.
You
Take
go
it
ahead.
out.
You go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
I said go ahead. You take it.
No, just do it. Don't pout. Just do it. 3, 2, 1.
Hi, welcome back to Query and Schultz on ISC Sports Network. Here's Derek.
That's not how you ever throw it back. Let's try it again. 3, 2.
Hi there. Welcome back to Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. My name is Jake Query. The other fellow you hear from time to time is Derek Schultz. He's the insecure one that occasionally likes to drop in some sort of adult themes and or pseudo-negative language.
Only to your dad.
Adult language.
Only your
Profanity.
dad feels that way.
Huh?
Only your dad feels
My
that
dad
way.
says too much toilet humor. from
Yeah.
me.
Your dad thinks I'm inappropriate.
He does.
But he does like my IBJ columns.
He does. That is correct.
Texts me that a lot. Yeah.
That is correct.
Time for our quick hits. We were just talking Olympics. This is what I love. Good, wholesome content, and I feel like the Olympics mostly was good, wholesome content. Did you see the McDonald's France joke about not having curry sauce anymore for at least 4 years?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So McDonald's France joked on social media that it was removing its curry sauce for the next 4 years after Steph Curry's 24-point performance to win gold for Team USA against the home nation in the gold medal game. I mean, this is what sports are about. And this is what social media is supposed to be about. Like, just having fun and
Derek,
and joking around.
One of the things with the Olympics in terms of the feel-good nature of it, and I think I mentioned this last week, but it bears repeating. I thought it was really neat because they were also included in the closing ceremonies. Maybe this has been around for a long time, and I had not noticed it, but I do think that it is cool that there is an Olympic team that is made up of athletes that are refugees that have had to flee for their own safety, their home nation, and basically have nowhere to claim because they can't represent the nation that they fled where they would be in peril, and so they are on a team with other athletes that are in similar circumstance. And they had for the first time a female athlete from the refugee team win a medal, which was cool, and then they also were included in the extinguishing of the flame and then the pass along towards the move forward to Los Angeles, which included Tom Cruise, who looked very odd coming down. And that was cool of him getting the flag, but then the pre-taped thing of him bringing it to Los Angeles, and that led to the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Snoop on the beach and everything else. And after about 10 minutes, you're like, okay, I get it.
Enough. Yeah. Too many ideas in the idea room, I think, for that one. But, yeah. Still, to cap the Olympics, it was a lot of fun. I mean, you must have loved being a sports radio host this summer. This must have been the easiest summer that you've ever hosted before because of the fever into the Olympics, and now here we are with Colt season. You can just talk about, who's going to be the swing tackle every day with Jimmy on the show. Looks like, speaking of position battles, it's going to be Curtis Rourke for QB1 for IU. I don't think that's much of a surprise. I don't think a 5-year transfer who was the MAC Offensive Player of the Year a couple of years ago transferred in to be the backup.
Kurt Cignetti, man, he is high on confidence.
Yeah, he is, and I think that's what Indiana needs. I said that on the show, but he has definitely put himself out there.
Favorable schedule as
if
well.
It does not go well. Yeah, we're always, and you and I both know this as IU alums. We're always talking about. Everyone is always talking about. What could go right for IU, and then the season starts, and then everything goes wrong. That's just IU football's whole MO. They've had 100 years of everything going wrong. Hopefully that's not the case, though, for Kurt Cignetti and company anymore. He has been battling, Rourke, that is, has been battling with Taven Jackson, who stuck around. And I think they have at least one freshman on the roster as well. But, yeah, Rourke was separated himself pretty significantly, according to Coach Cignetti. So take that for whatever it's worth there. Hassan Reddick really, really does not want to be a Jet. Pro Bowl edge rusher requested a trade yesterday, Monday. We're taping this early Tuesday. Jets fired back and said, look, you don't want to practice, then we're just going to fine you. He's not happy with his deal. He missed all of training camp. He has not played a single practice with it. I mean, he was just traded from the Eagles. $50,000 a day. So basically, what Jake makes in an IndyCar weekend, Hassan Reddick is forfeiting a day.
Can you imagine,
$50,000.
I mean, can you imagine that?
No, it's just it's obscene. The The holdout so far has cost them $1.7 million. Jets traded a 2026 third rounder for him, and this is a quote from the article. The Jets were under the impression that Reddick would play under his existing contract. Before trading for him, isn't that something that you
might want to make a phone call, right? Like before you break up with your girlfriend, you might want to find out if Katie Koleski will actually go to the prom with you, right?
I was under the impression, and I mean that's why the Jets are the Jets, right?
Do you ever talk to that Katie Koleski anymore?
No, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't even know if she's on social media, where she's at.
Are you Facebook friends with her?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm not on Facebook.
Huh?
I'm not on Facebook.
Why are you not on Facebook?
I got kicked off. No, not
for
anything.
stalking
No.
Katie Koleski?
Actually, it's funny. I was working for ISC, and we were doing live streams, and I was one of the admins on our ISC Facebook account. And one of our partners at ISC, as like their hype music, their intro music that we would play was using copyrighted music, right? And so it would get flagged or whatever, and then I would take it down. And then one day Facebook was just like, you know what? You've had enough flags here. Not only are we taking away your account, we're going to cancel the admin account too. So my whole Facebook it's gone, forever, which is fine because I was using it less
right?
and less and less.
Yeah.
No, I still have Instagram and Twitter and all that other stuff.
I only use Facebook to show people how wonderful my life is.
Yeah. It's a good way. That's a good way to use it. I think that's how most people end up using Facebook, sadly. We come back, Chateau Kitchen's Buy It or Bull Bleep, and we will tie a bow on this episode. God, we are creeping closer to 200. 198, I think. Yeah, 198.
Really?
Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
We're going to tonight.
You know we cover all sports in Central Indiana. Hop in. It's going to be a long night.
Bailey & Wood Mortgage Lender, proud partner of News 8 Sports Hummer.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh!
Bailey & Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Welcome back. It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. Jake is asking me for things.
I would like to know. Okay,
Jake's asking me.
I've never asked you for anything. I just asked for one small favor, and I got this.
That was an off-air conversation. I'm not sure. Vince might have potted our mic, so Vince isn't the most. He barely paying attention over there. So that audio might have gotten on.
Would you?
But Jake had asked for a favor for a parking pass.
Yeah.
For an athletic event where I am loosely tied to one of the participating
Let me rephrase that.
teams.
I probably should have paraphrased the question. It was more, hey, do you think, like, are there parking passes and or parking spots of it? Like, is this a park on the street deal, or is there a place where I could even buy a spot to park?
I believe they have parking passes, but I think I've only gone to 3 or 4 games in my life. And every time I've parked in the same spot, so that's just what I've continued to do. But I can ask.
Can you give me that spot?
Yeah. I have to. You have to pay for it, but yeah. No, I mean you don't have to pay me for it. You have to pay to park where I park.
How convenient?
It's convenient.
How easy in and out?
The in and out was real easy, but then again, I was with my dad and we left midway through the third quarter.
Probably what I'll be doing.
Yeah. So it was real easy.
Now,
if you're leaving midway through the third, then you don't have to worry about it, I don't think.
When I went to the White Sox game with Shannon, now granted, part of it was there were 4,000 people there.
Yeah.
But I have found a parking spot that literally I got out of my car and it was like 100 yards to the entrance and then 20 yards to my seat. It was the best thing ever.
Wow.
So that's how I am now with parking.
Well, I think people,
close.
because the neighborhood surrounding, not Comiskey or U.S. Cellular, what the hell is it called now? Guaranteed rate, right? Yeah, because the neighborhood isn't the most scenic. I think people are scared probably to park on the street, so I'm not surprised you found a spot. Yankee Stadium used to be like that, where if you wanted to do street parking, you could.
By the way, how about the New York Yankees yesterday?
Getting shellacked?
The Chicago White Sox got
12-2.
win number 29 by putting up 12 runs on the Yankees.
You want to read this text on air here?
Let's go. Wait a minute. Let me see if do I need my disclaimer?
Start with today at 7:52 a.m.
Okay. Oh, this is from Derek's dad. Probably made in your 401ks yesterday enough.
No, not that.
The Dow's up.
He's always talking to me about the stock market, but not that.
Weather is okay here today. Maybe
No,
clouds.
go down.
Oh, there we go. Derek, this is an emergency. You must know people at ESPN. Was looking at MLB scores on my phone on their website, and they are showing White Sox 12, Yanks 2. This must be corrected, as surely the score is reversed. Derek said, ha, embarrassing, right? Most runs the White Sox have scored all year. Yankees left 20 guys on base. Your dad didn't respond.
No, he hasn't responded.
Well, no, he did here, right here. New phone, who dis?
No, that's not what yeah. All right.
Oh, this is interesting. Want to make sure you're still doing the show tomorrow with Jake. Please tell him I said hi. What a blessing it's been for you to be able to work with such a wonderful talent.
No.
That probably is a lot like the Dow, which was up 683 yesterday, and
No.
will probably pay for your trip in the 401k. What a thrill.
Nothing else happens. Yeah.
It's nice of him.
He's always
Thank you,
telling
Mr.
me about,
Schultz.
Hey, the S&P is, and I'm like, that's great. You know what is great? Chateau Kitchens. ChateauKitchens.com, at Chateau Kitchens on Instagram, Facebook, before and after pictures. Your home project. Yes, you. Your bathroom. You're like, God, this is dated. Or your kitchen. It's like 1997 threw up in there. Give our
What?
friends at Chateau Kitchens a call.
You mean it's like 1997 up in there?
I got green countertops and wood panel cabinetry that's like the color of this door. You got to get that out of there. Call our friends at Chateau Kitchens and get a glow up for your space at Chateau Kitchens and ChateauKitchens.com on socials and their website. Here's
know
what
what
we
I've
do.
noticed,
Jake
by
and
the
I
way?
go back and forth whether we buy it or it's verbally
Speaking of remodels,
per each statement.
have you noticed this, Derek? Speaking of remodels, name your favorite fast food restaurant. Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King.
If
Arby's.
if I have the option, I like Culver's. If I have to do
Okay.
it, but if I have to do it out of like Wendy's, Burger King, like all
Have you
that,
noticed,
we do.
speaking of remodels, that they all need to call Chateau Kitchens? Have you noticed that every fast food restaurant now, the same architect is designing the
Yeah,
building?
yeah,
Every one of them.
yeah.
They're all a square, and then on the right-hand side, there's a column that has the name of the restaurant.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Taco Bell, all of them.
I missed the Wendy's atrium window.
Yes, of
You
course.
know what I mean? Like, what was wrong with that?
Well, they
Round
did
tile.
the salad bars, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The bars in between when you're going up to the cash register.
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
go
yeah.
through, like you're waiting for a line at Disney or something. Potato bar.
Yeah.
Wendy's. Yeah. Do you remember Burger Chef? Would you have been alive for that?
Vaguely. Yeah.
Okay. That was my mom's favorite. I wasn't alive for that. We had something called Roy Rogers.
Yeah, that's Hardee's.
Did you guys have that out here?
Well, but Hardee's and Roy Rogers, I think, are the same parent company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that, and I think Roy Rogers had a salad bar.
There was a Roy Rogers in Times Square right underneath the Viacom building.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Wow. All right, let's get to Biter Bull Bleep. It's more likely that the Colts finish last in the AFC South than first. Biter Bull Bleep.
It's Bullschultz. They're not going to finish. Tennessee's got a firm hold on last.
You think? People like Levis. Some people, I guess.
Well, he
like
might be
Levis.
okay, but their roster just in general.
I wouldn't say firm. Like,
South's going to be good.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that the Colts win the division. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they finish last. I'm high on the Colts. But, no, I think it's more likely that they're really good than really bad. That's what but you know what, Jake, honestly, 8 and 9 could be last place in the AFC South. I don't know. It's a pretty good division, don't you think?
It is.
I think it's a
very
pretty good division. I mean, I think
it's a very
Jacksonville.
it's a very good
We're
division.
kind of writing off Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's still got a really good roster, and Lawrence. Who
I mean,
knows? Maybe his breakout's just delayed.
Any team in the AFC South could win the NFC South.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
How about this? I have a bite
Okay,
of Bullschultz
go.
for you. You ready? Jonathan Taylor this year will have more touchdowns than the second leading receiver for the Colts.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it just because there's no clear like backup running back that you would really go to in that situation. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll buy it. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's probably
Okay.
fair because Pittman will probably lead him in scores, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then or Richardson.
Last thing, the worst thing that you could possibly do in any sort of scenario is be in the back of an airplane and rush up to the front before letting everybody exit row by row.
3 people in this world you cannot trust. 3
Shopping cart.
people that don't return their shopping cart, people that don't have a dog voice, and people that don't know how to deboard an airplane in a proper fashion.
I hate it.
You just went to New Orleans?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was
Did
fun.
you see the pizza guy on meth?
No, did not see the methed out pizza guy.
Too bad.
James saw a little more than we probably want him to see at 7 years old, but
Like what?
it was a good time. It's not exactly the most 7-year-old friendly place, but it's such a cool town. There's great culture.
Any of this? Any of this,
yeah,
Derek?
yeah, we did. You know, Dad, what's that? And it's this glass jar, and it's hello.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, thanks to our great sponsors on this show, Chateau Kitchens, obviously behind us, Hoagies and Hops, Chili Water Brewing as well, 42nd and Boulevard. Our friends at Bailey and Wood Financial Group.
Love Heating and Air.
Thanks to them. Love Heating and Air. And everybody else in there. I know I give Vince a
Derek,
hard time, but he does an adequate job.
We have room for new sponsors.
Yeah, we do.
If
Yeah.
people want to sponsor this show, no matter how small a sponsorship it might be, no matter how do they do so?
Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at QuarryandSchultz.com, and I will direct them to the proper party.
Derek at QuarryandSchultz.com. We would love to be able to spread your message to let people know about your business, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
We'll come up with new segment ideas if you need
That's
us
a
to.
great idea to do that. We should do that at the end of every show.
Yeah.
I think. For Jake, I'm Derek. Have a great week. 199 next week here on Query and Schultz.
Unbelievable.
See you later.
At Bailey & Wood, we